Y'all know the sound guy he be on some stuff, man. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for joining us for another Wednesday, the Bossfest podcast. I'm Edwina.
What's up? What's up? I'm here.
Man, every week I ask y'all to submit. We need a sound person. No weeks do I get anybody giving me any information on a sound person. So y'all know we struggling over here. But anyway, let's get into it. You ready, sound guy?
Sure.
All right. So this week's topic of discussion is there a fear of collaboration? So I guess let's elaborate on that. And I guess I'll let you elaborate on it. You came up with the topic.
So I guess we came up with the topic because as we're going through the process of dealing with businesses, putting together this event, we find ourselves working with different people, different personalities and things like that. And it always plays a part, man. Is everybody in it for the same thing, or people trying to use you, or people seeing the benefits of collaboration, or is it sympathy? So that's why I was like, man, is there a fear of collaboration? Because it seems like more and more these days that people just, I don't know, they don't really want to work together. You got people that still putting in work, doing good things, but then there's other people who are like, yeah, I'll work with you, but what is it for me?
Listen, I'm gonna start the conversation. So I seen a comment in the chat, and it said, "Man, y'all go drink some coffee." So I gotta explain the struggle. I need y'all to understand the struggle before the show go on, because, like I said, I'm asking for a sound guy, and like my limits be pushed. And if anybody knows me, my patience is this, like this. I got this much of patience. So if you know me, you already know. And like the sound person be pushing my patience every time before the podcast start. And then I gotta go on here and like have a conversation. Y'all just get me a sound person. Like save our marriage. Save a marriage today and get us a sound person.
This is why this topic is real important right now. Collaboration. Because a lot of days I really don't want to collaborate with your ass. Because you don't give me no breaks, no nothing, man. I'm out here trying to grind, put it together. Stuff works fine in the testing room and how I'm working through stuff. Then all of a sudden I look around. All I'm saying is every time I'm trying to do my best, man, you always shut me down, man. I don't want to collaborate with you no more, bro. Listen, matter of fact, change the name of the podcast to Kevin Podcast. We're going to run it just like that. So, I watch the sound be good, the audio be good, because I ain't got to worry about how you look and sound. I'm going to run it my way.
Yeah. That's what we're going to do?
That's what I'm doing.
So let's talk about collaboration. Let's get in it. I needed to address the elephant in the room. And my sound guy just ain't sounding. He just ain't giving what it's supposed to give.
Says a person that sits there and does nothing.
I do my part. I got a job. You got a job.
All you do is go try to put on some makeup and grab your cup with your drink in it. I got to set up cameras, microphones, audio equipment, put up stuff, put up backdrops.
So all I do is spin records. That's all I do is spin records.
Blue. All you do is spin records.
Listen. So when you talk about collaboration, because I'm going to get into it, I feel like that's perfect to bring us into the topic. Like when you collaborate with people, I think it's important to say like what each person's job is in a collaboration. And maybe that's some of the fear of people collaborating with other people. You feel like you're going to do extra work, i.e. me, be doing a lot of extra work, and you got one job is to turn a button, and I'm like, well, damn. But anyway, so maybe that's the whole point of like why people are afraid to collaborate with other people, because they don't feel like they're going to put the work in.
Listen, man, the camera shows it all. I got the computer in front of me, all the audio equipment. All you got is a microphone. I'm putting in work.
You know what? If that's all it takes to do a business to put a laptop in front of somebody, then I'll definitely throw some posts on social media tonight with a whole bunch of laptops, like if that's what it takes.
You're not matching my grind.
Really?
I need you to step your collaboration up.
I almost fell out my chair. I almost fell out the chair. Do you see the comments? Can you read the comment sound guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next comment says, once AI comes out, you done. Meaning you specifically, Kevin Butler. And I love the comments.
Whatever. Man.
Okay, so this is a really good comment, which comes from Lamar. It says the fear is not being on the same page, someone using you, and butting heads. And I feel that in my soul because when you collaborate on a project, someone has to be able to see your vision and be in it for the same reasons. And a lot of times that's not the case. So I'll speak personally for me. Like I'm always afraid of collaborating with other people because one, like when you're doing something in business, sometimes there's money involved. Are people going to want to put up what I'm willing to put up to make something great? And then exactly like that comment says, are you just using me, for my portion of whatever? And I feel it a lot. It goes back to almost like people wanting the game or people picking your brain and providing you no value.
So for me, I can I can sympathize with that, but to me, I think it's just a lack of creativity. Sometimes, if someone can completely duplicate what you do and make it better than you, make it better than the idea you put out there, then to me, your creativity was just lacking.
No, you say that, but let's say like we sit at a table, right? We call a business meeting and we're asking for some bosses to collaborate. And I say, hey, I have this idea and this is what I want to do with this idea. And I say, let's say I put a date 6 months out so that we can all come together. But before we make it to that 6 months and my idea comes, to life, they put out something on social media, exactly the same thing. Now you were able to steal what I brought to the table and make it look like that's just your plan.
Why it took you so long to get your plan out? So if you brought something to the table where nobody had thought about it, it's gonna take you 6 months to do it, and it took them less. That means they was in a better position.
Not necessarily. I'm just using 6 months as an example, but maybe it's because I have this. I want to launch it at this particular time. Like you want things to be perfect, but I'm just saying, like it could be 2 weeks, but in the 2 weeks you do it in 2 days just to say you did it.
So if somebody can do something in 2 weeks that I'm trying to set up for in 6 months,
I said 2 weeks. I changed it to 2 weeks. Follow me.
2 weeks.
Okay.
So if they didn't even have the thought in their head to begin with, and now it only took them 2 weeks to execute it, the question is, how good would execution be? Is it going to be on the level you want it? And if it's complete trash, then shit.
Well, some would say done is better than perfect. Would they not?
Some would say that, but you still can't produce trash.
No, and no one's trying to produce trash. We're all out here coming up with ideas, trying to get our business a step further. So collaboration helps you build. Like if you can bring, like someone has this, someone has that, and we collaborate and we build something great, that's the ultimate goal. But when you're talking about, hey, I want to collaborate with someone that's in my same field, I feel like there's a lot of hesitation when you're talking about that. And it goes back to, are you gonna steal my idea? Like I'm doing this with my business. You're gonna try to take clients. Like people aren't always honest.
Fair enough. And that means that they don't have real creativity. In most business situations, the way you look at stuff is you try to fill a need. So we look at our community, we say, okay, what needs to be filled. We'll run a BS example. Let's say food, right? It can be a million food vendors, but is everybody doing hibachi style food? If everybody out here frying chicken, then yeah, it ain't nothing going on.
What you asking for is for my business. Let's say I'm already hibachi, but now I do this thing and I'm like, man, we're gonna put the hibachi in the fruit. I don't know. But I sit at the table and I say this idea, and this person, I'm gonna launch it in 2 weeks. So I'm get my menus made, right. From Alibaba, whatever it may be. And this person says, "Ah, shoot, I got a person that prints menus. I'm gonna come out with it in 3 days." So was that not like? Are you saying that I'm not creative because this person was able to bypass me, steal my idea, and then launch it like it was theirs? I don't think it has anything to do with creativity.
Okay, then let's say it has something to do with hustle.
Okay, so here's a statement. It says, to your statement, Kevin, the person who had the idea just made it easy for them to build their foundation. And that's exactly basically what I'm saying. Like you gave them the idea. This is how we're going to run it because I'm sitting at a table and we're going through ideas together. So we just walk through the planning stage of this, and now you have everything you need to steal it from under me and go to town.
Might be a possibility. Everybody can't do the same thing. We look around town. There's a lot of people around here saying they're promoters, right? They're launching events. They're doing different things. There are some people, they attach their name to something. People flock to it. There are other people who are trying to start off, and nobody's buying into it. So number one, it got to be a little bit of name recognition. People got to want to mess with you. People got to want to get close to you.
So I kind of feel like that's just a local thing for the area that we live in.
I think that applies to any place anyone lives.
I mean, I guess I asked the comments because I just feel like here, because we're more of a smaller town area, that if someone was to attach their name to something and people flock to it, it happens here. But let's say you go to a larger city, like Atlanta, where we should be. If you put, hey, we're doing this event, do people just come because they want to be involved in the event, or do they come because this person's name is on it? Both. I'm not stating one or the other. I'm just asking.
Both things can be true.
Both things could be true. I just feel like here in our local area, it happens more here when people go to things because someone's name is on it, opposed to maybe in a larger place.
I think everybody's trying to figure out what it is they're good at. And if people don't know what their special talent is, they may try different things until they figure it out.
Yeah. Big Z said birth. Birth.
I put the right comment up. She did it twice.
I know, but
I know. Don't do my dog like that.
Whatever.
Why you doing Zito May like that, man?
Dang.
You know what? That's my dog.
Dang. Okay, so I want to go back and there was a question that came up in the comments. It says, when you're collaborating, do you feel contracts should be involved? And if so, why? I have to say a little bit of yes and no. I think it depends on the project itself. But I definitely think if there's any business and you're exchanging services, it's best to know the scope of work, which is where a contract would come into play, in your relationship with that person you're collaborating with. Because I've definitely been in some rooms with some different situations and been like, man, if this would have been on paper, this would have been a better move.
Ooh, do tell. Do you have an example you'd like to share with the audience?
I do not have an example.
I want a petty example too. Give me a petty example.
I just told you I didn't have no example. Move on.
No, bro. We need an example. I'm out here painting pictures and shit, and you can't give us an example.
What pictures are you painting?
See, please share. please share.
I already said I didn't have an example.
So what situation were you in where you felt like you needed a contract?
Dang, you already asked that, and I said move on.
See, this is not the essence of Bossfest.
This isn't what?
This isn't the essence of Bossfest.
This isn't the essence of Bossfest?
No, man, I need for you to.
So let me be clear why you're throwing Bossfest, the event out there. Bossfest is not messy. Kevin Butler is messy. To be very clear. Like, people think I'm the petty one in this relationship, but you are way pettier. Like, you're more petty than I am.
Nobody thinks that. People just don't really interact with me. But if they talk to me for 5 good minutes, they know I'm with all of it.
So this comment says, yes and no. Collaboration should be more fun than business. So I guess I'm on the fence with that particular statement, going back to what I said when I was in a collaboration. Because for me, if I don't know the people that I'm collaborating with, like, we're not on a bestie business level, I'll call it, then I want to handle the business first. Because I'm not a person that instantly warms up to people and like, oh, like, we're cool, so let's handle the business. I always think a friendship can come about if everybody's pulling their weight in business. But if you can't pull your weight in business, there's no need for us to even keep messing around. Like, that's what we started this for. So that's, my response to the comments.
Example.
I feel like people in the comments been messing with you.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Example.
Shut up. Like for real. So okay, so the next comment says when it comes to podcasts, should there be contracts when the podcast is made of different people? I'm going to wholeheartedly say yes. I think
Why is
even
that?
I'm gonna tell you why that is. I
What's
even
that?
think in this podcast, don't think you gonna catch me slipping. Like when I decide to tell you T, then I will. But I will tell you this: even in this podcast, as the sound said, we do different roles. So if there was something written down, this is your role and this is what we're going to do, it would be outlined. And then like if I wanted to outsource the sound guy position, I could take that away from you and give it to someone else. But it's easier to do that if we've had things written down. Ew. You happy with that response?
I'm fine with that. Listen, I'm slacking. I can admit that I am slacking.
Right, but if
with
there's a
certain things.
contract, then there's also different things. So I'll say that yes, I was in a situation before where we tried to develop something similar to what we're doing now. And I do think, as I reflect on that situation, had there been contracts and different agreements before we started, then nah, never mind. That's a lie. It wasn't gonna make it. So I might as well just keep on moving. That's a lie. So we'll move on.
I think you was going somewhere.
I was gonna say that maybe that situation may have continued, but in my mind, as I was saying that, I was like, nah, that's a lie. So we'll move on. Contracts won't always save situations. So this says podcast to me isn't collaboration, though it's a whole business partnership. I think it's both. So I think it's a collaboration and it's a business partnership. It really depends on what you plan on getting out of that podcast. Like for Kevin and I, our podcast is a partnership, but so is everything else we do. But depending on what you're bringing and the other people involved, it could be a collaboration. So that's my answer. Do you want to respond to that comment?
I want to be petty, and I want to understand.
What do you want to understand?
You know what? All I'm stating to you, ma'am, is that all there's nothing we should fear being in a collaboration. I believe that everyone has engagement levels, and as you build in that understanding with people, hopefully you don't put people in a room that's not trying to build or grow with you. I think we've surrounded ourselves with, different people. I think through the course of stuff, we see that energies change or
commitment levels
change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why those things need to be definitely documented and put some paperwork behind that. But just to throw stuff out there, that's why you don't give anybody the meat and potatoes of your idea, just give them a little bit of veggies.
No, but I mean, there's got to be people that you trust in business. So there's a lot of partnerships that I see on social media, and I feel like when people are in those rooms and making those, agreements and coming up with those ideas, they're laying it all out on the table. You have to trust that other person not to pick up my idea and run with it and try to do your own thing. That we create this here. I think people are stronger together. It's a lot harder to go out and get $1 million from the bank and you're the only person. You can't be the contractor, the talent and everything else. You need other people to help you. I think it's easier to build when you have help.
I just know I remember being the sound man on different podcasts, and I felt like I was doing my best, to try to be the best version of myself, and invest in this stuff. People had a lot of complaints, but they wasn't actually fixing stuff, and I'm glad that I've been able to learn.
You haven't learned anything, to be quite honest. You are still making the same mistakes.
I am not making the same mistakes. I'm using better equipment, different technology. I am expanding and growing. If I was still doing the same thing as that situation, they would hear everything in the room, from everybody's background noises to random laughing and all that other stuff. I just got to get me some real podcasts.
Y'all are just like, if you only understood the pettiness that is this man, like everything he's saying is just completely petty. Like what you doing right now?
I'm talking about collaboration.
And I'm like a petty individual, but what you're doing, talking about your old sound guy position,
I just said,
is
what?
Like you just keep leveling up on your level of petty. So, and maybe that's a point of collaboration. Maybe that's why people don't collaborate with you, because you're so petty.
No, people don't know me well enough. But when people actually get to know me,
the comments said they can see the pettiness.
What? I am innocent. What is wrong with these comments today? This is just unfair.
Look, you got a comment that says you messy. I'm trying so hard not to live in the messiness with you, but you just you being very petty.
Listen, I'm saying that we're talking about collaboration. Is there a fear of it? I'm telling you, for me, I don't really fear if someone's going to take an ideal or do something that we put out there. I try to move in spaces where it's intimidating to people. Putting on an event like Bossfest, where it's talking about, education of different brands and stuff like that. We started as a pop-up shop. It's transformed into something else.
People really understand how Bossfest came about, to be quite honest. But
Lamar with these shots fired. God dang it, Lamar. What? You probably been waiting on this topic to get to me.
So I think this comment is just really addressed to you. It says you're pushing a topic that doesn't want to be addressed. So I guess you have to elaborate on the don't want to be addressed, Lamar.
I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta knock down that wall to be free. You gotta push through.
Listen, bro, I feel very free. When I tell my, what is it called, Inside Edition story to how the success didn't happen, people would just be blown away. So I just would rather not.
I don't know. That's gonna be a great story. I'm ready for that one. I'm gonna be in the comments, and when that story come out, I'm just gonna watch. Really? But no, like I was trying to say, like putting together like the events we're trying to do. We know how we started off. We started off as just trying to get our brands out there.
Well, we know how we started off, but people don't know.
But then it transformed. But the reason why I was able to transform is because people came along in our process and suggested ideals and different things like that to us. So it wasn't like we took someone's idea. Someone said, "Hey, have you thought about doing this?" And we're like, "Oh, that's not a bad idea. Let's incorporate it into year 2." Then somebody said, "Oh, have you thought about this?" Then we incorporated it into year 3. So to me, if it wasn't for those,
talk louder. Did that just happen?
I'm sorry, boss. Please forgive me for I have sinned.
For real, I was like, wait, did we just yell on the podcast?
Let me go back to being quiet and rocking and being petty.
Do that. So I just wanted to interject and say, yes, we did steal ideas along the way. Like, let's be very clear in that. I think most businesses, you see an idea, you see somebody do something great, and you want to encompass that. I think it's a lot different than you sit at a table and collaborating with someone and you're taking that full plan and then using it for yourself. But we definitely went to other events and we said, man, they're able to teach this. People are walking away with so much value. How do we bring that here? And I think that's really how the essence of Bossfest started. Is we were like, man, we live in Central Florida. We're not huge Atlanta. We're not Miami, but we have just as much talent in this area. Why can't we bring some of those ideas to this area? And just like the comment says, nothing is new under the sun. So it's not. It's just, reinventing that, bringing that here, taking an idea from here, here, and here, and then creating, the ideal event that you want to see. And I think that's what we're doing.
Everything is all repackaged.
Yes.
I work in a beverage warehouse, and to me, Sprite tastes like 7-Up. It tastes like...
It don't.
It do. It's all the same formula. It's just how much sugar you put into it. It's all the same formula.
Which makes it not taste the same. That's almost saying Coke tastes like Pepsi, but let's be for real, it doesn't. So let's move on. But which one came first? Who saw that and said, man, I can do something similar. I'm going to come out with this.
RC. The one we don't drink came out first.
And it just means that So fake facts? You just
That,
gave some fake
that
facts?
might be a fake fact. I'm gonna have to go fact check that one. That might
Oh
be fake.
Lord, y'all, he always with a fake fact.
No, I actually.
But that brings a good point. RC may have come out first, but their marketing wasn't good enough. Here's this idea. Someone else sees it and comes out with, their particular idea of a drink.
Because when it started out, it wasn't more or less trying to be something for personal consumption. More or less trying to be like.
Lamarcus corrected what I'm saying. So not stolen, but inspiration. Not taken, but inspired.
Got it. I'm with Lamar.
Obviously, I know. I was just correcting those words because I see them in the chat. So that's essentially what most things are doing. But the fear of collaboration, what we're saying is a lot of it is that someone's going to completely take that whole idea, steal it, and run away with it.
I just don't understand why. If you're in business, you can't live in scared space. If you're trying to build something or grow something, yes.
My chest just went to
yes.
30. What?
And the reason why she's doing that is because I have been playing in scared spaces. So I was that person. I still am that person with a 9-to-5 mindset, which we had called it. I never thought about being in any type of entrepreneurship, never thought about being in front of cameras and mics and doing none of this stuff. But I'm stepping out of my comfort zone to embrace new things. I was happy getting up, going to work, clocking in, clocking out, coming back to my family, doing whatever little extracurricular stuff I wanted to do. My wife woke up one morning like, fuck it, we ain't doing that no more. So at that moment, I had to develop a fuck it, we ain't doing it no more mindset. And I wasn't there. Whatever was going on in her mind, she was already processing her exit strategy from the 9-to-5 business. Me, I had finally found my groove. I was happy. I felt like, man, I could do this forever. I had finally became that dude. Like, man, I could retire here and die. My wife let nope, I want quality of life, but I also want to be financially good and create this future. So that's when we started trying to venture out, collaborating with your friend with the CBD business. That was trying to do something. It didn't work out the way we thought. We transformed it into something else. So that's why I'm like, man, we can't be. I know I still play in scarce places somewhere, but I'm learning to do that.
Okay, so the next comment says, if you have $1 million idea and you know the value of it, you should move scared and cautious when collaborating. So, I mean, I can see that.
How do you know you have $1 million idea?
I think you feel it. Like you feel you have $1 million idea.
That makes no sense. Jeff Bezos started Amazon by trying to sell books inside of his garage.
But you don't think he felt like, man, this could be something like
selling books inside of Amazon wasn't designed the way it is now. It transformed. The whole purpose of Amazon was to sell books. There was already different bookstores, Books A Million, all this other stuff. What happened was he got with somebody. They had an idea. Hey, why don't you think about doing it this way? Invest this way. How about this? And it grew until this multi-billion-dollar monster that's surpassing Walmart. Has anybody ever thought that Walmart would be
scared of Amazon?
Walmart had ruled the world.
So I'm trying to follow the comment. It says they wasn't selling books. So I guess they're saying you are bringing more fake facts, sir.
I got to research that because I heard that Amazon started off selling, or was it selling books in the garage?
Did you hear it?
I thought I heard. I believe. I'm a fake.
Was it a TikTok? Because I like to find my information from TikTok. Did you get it from TikTok? Is the question.
No, I'm finna go research.
You don't have to research it right now. We just saying that there may be some.
I've been called. See.
Oh no! So it says they did. I'm really unsure what we're saying. So maybe they're saying that they did start that way. I don't know. You see the same comments that I see. I don't know.
Stop reading everybody's comments. And trust your husband. Jesus. I'm right. Oh. I am right. Even when I'm wrong, you're supposed to say, baby, I'm right. Where's our collaboration? Just ride with me. If I'm wrong on that street, baby, I know we wrong together. You don't never want to be wrong with me. That's what.
So if I don't want to be wrong with you, I'm not collaborating now?
Yeah, man.
I can't do it. I don't. So here's a comment. It says at some point he had to move with caution, though, and that's very true. I feel like sometimes, like I go to sleep and I wake up with a big idea and I tell you about it, And then it becomes like we move very cautiously through that idea. I mean, think about Bossfest. So while it's year number 3 in the making, when this first started, let's be very clear. This was an idea that I said, okay, I had. You were like, I don't even want to mess with that idea. I don't know what, like, I guess if you do it, I help. And I put out some tables.
So guess why? Why did I say that?
I don't know why you said that.
Because number one, I looked at our area. So in the area we operate in, just so y'all know, we don't know if Bossfest going to be in Polk County next year. But the area we live in doesn't seem very receptive to building business partnerships versus building like personal relationships or things like that. Anybody post something about a type of club or type of hangout and spend money stuff, they'll spend all types of money. But when you try to get people in the room to invest in other businesses, invest in other brands, educate themselves, everybody plays scarce. And it was weird to me because, like you said, when we went to other areas, it'd be more engagement. Like if someone said, hey man, if you want to be in social media and I'm bringing you X amount of personalities that's going to be in the room, that's going to give you their formula or give you certain formulas that might help elevate your brand, you ain't going to jump on that? And people like, well, I just don't know. I'm thinking, like, we live in an area where people want to say, dang, I wanted to be there. I shouldn't have missed it. I'm going to make sure I'm there next time. And still ain't there next time.
So that's true. So this comment says, I'm from Miami and people do not do business in Central Florida. That's interesting. And that's from Duval. Duval. Oh, my bad. I hit them with a Jacksonville.
From where?
I said I hit them with a Jacksonville. My bad. Instead of a Dade County. My bad. I said, my bad.
And you were born in Dade County.
I know where it is.
Boy, you just despise Dade County that much. You just gonna get
a whole different. Duval. I did. I really. Whatever.
People from Miami, we apologize for that false information that you just provided.
I literally just said. You too much. Like the pettiness that you do is just too much for my life.
Come on. But I will say this. We knew year one was something different because we didn't have a true vision of what we was gonna do with it.
No, that's not true. We had so again, what is important for me to say is the vision that I had when we first did this, which it wasn't called Bossfest at the time. It was almost like a business shower. It was to launch our business and show the community, hey, this is a new business on the block. I want you to support me and I want to support you. That's how this idea completely started. And what we noticed when we got in the room, there were a lot of small business people that we had known for years that we didn't even know they had small businesses. And that's kind of how it just started growing. Like, let's keep supporting small businesses. And I guess that's the point of collaboration. But just to say that's how it started, it's just not there now.
So, all right, I'll co-sign on that one. We started off trying to market our brands. It transformed in year 2 into more trying to bring in education into the mix, but still trying to showcase people brands. This year, we've set up the education piece of it, the branding piece of it in a way where it can be more impactful. Because we know year 2, and I know my boy Unique, he can love me for this one because that year 2 camera work, I put him in a failing situation. My boy had to do super edits to the video because people were just in the way and stuff. And I was like, man, we had something special in that room. The setup wasn't the best idea. How do we make it better? And everybody's getting better. Everybody's involving themselves. Everybody's improving. And that's why we now vendors and everything else to try to make this thing a success. So I'm excited to see what this year brings. But I still feel like we're going to have some of them.
I don't know if I should do them type people.
Yeah.
I'm reading the comment. So I see a comment that says people haven't been so nice. So I guess we have to elaborate. I don't know if I missed something before, but I guess that's one of the things to go back to what you're saying about collaborating. So Bossfest really is an event that is built off of collaboration. It has grown throughout the years because people wanting to collaborate and really seeing a vision that started behind just wanting to support each other. So that's why I think it's really cool. I think that's why it will continue to grow. One of the things that I'm amazed about with this year's, it's our first year being able to go get what I would say is some corporate type money to help infuse in this. And I think from that, that means it will continue to grow. Like when people say, hey, I want to give you this because I see the vision, I think that means you're on the right track.
It do, and now we're learning how to better market the business and the brand so that way people see value and want to make and build those partnerships, those collaborations.
Yes.
Collaborations, yes.
And so I guess that's what you're saying, like when you're collaborating with people and not moving in scarcity, but it is definitely an unnerving place to be. So it's like, how do you move with certain people where you're not scared or moving, in a scarcity place, and then bossing up so that you can build those collaborations? That makes sense?
Yes, ma'am. Polk County small business make collaborating hard. That it should be written on some stone by God as a as a testament.
Well, I mean, that's what we're talking about. That is literally what the
as a commandment, like the 11th commandment.
And that Polk County make it hard.
Woo! Well, more Polk County make you want to just go somewhere else. Like everybody got a lot of energy.
No come through.
No come through.
Well, I mean, that's still exactly like what we're saying here. We're trying to get people to come out because the whole point is, man, there's a lot of talent in Central Florida. We could literally be like a mecca like Atlanta, but we won't come together. How do we change that? Like, how do we start a movement of people coming together, using other small businesses and people being about their business, not playing, and really leveling up? How do we start that movement?
So you use Atlanta as an example. So let me dig into my facts.
Okay. fakefacts.com. Let's go.
All right, I can't remember the mayor name. I think his name was Maynard or something like that.
Did you need to? You got to go deeper.
No. So what happened was the city started investing into more small businesses, and because the city started giving more grants and opportunities to not only small businesses but more minority type businesses and things like that, it opened up the doors for people who never had an opportunity to get type of government grants or federal grants or contracts and stuff to build themselves.
Okay.
That ain't happening in Polk County, but what I will say is this. It's a lot of good moves being made in Polk County recently. It's a lot of leaders. Some of these old leaders are transitioning out. We're bringing in a bunch of good new leaders. Congratulations to my boy Bernell Smith, winning commission over there at Haines City. I know that he has a mindset that's going to bring in some positive change for that area and that community. I think that a lot of us need to start looking at getting in some of these rooms and showing our city officials that, hey man, we here to make real positive impact.
Yeah, because you say Polk County isn't doing that, but let's just say like with the grant money, because that's what you're talking about. Okay. That's out there with different cities in the area. Is it not out there, or do we not have the education to go get it?
It's all out there.
Right. So there's not that there's not money out here for us. We just lack the knowledge to go get it.
I don't think it's we lack the knowledge. I don't think we feel like we have access to it.
So if you feel like you don't have access, is that because there's a knowledge gap?
There is
there is a knowledge gap. You don't have the knowledge to go get it.
But how many people can say they went to a city council meeting or a city hall meeting or a commissioner's meeting or school board meeting to gain better understanding of the changes they're going to do in the area? Like I said, this is where our kids grow up and play. This is where our businesses are. This is where we live, taxes and things of that nature. So if we ain't going to even do the small things to understand the place that's being made around us, then somehow, some way you can't be upset by getting left out. We know we stay in a small area where we at, but I'm finna go sit in these city hall meetings, these commissioner meetings, because they talking about 20 year, 15, 40-year plans. Some of us still trying to think. Some of us are still reliving yesterday.
So that's the difference. So like some of these comments, just to keep us caught up. It says if Polk County don't change, people will move. Our people will take over. Other people will take over slowly. So he said people like me will take over slowly. So this one says it's moving because the few people who put collaboration over competition are trying to change it. They are putting their best foot forward, essentially. So it says, "Oh, you're right." Somebody said you're right. Let me just live in that.
I am right.
You're right.
More times than I am wrong.
That's not true.
You gonna give me my credit? Just hate you.
So he says you're right, and he's been at all the chambers. And he's from Miami, and that's honestly a good start. Is letting other people know, hey, I'm here. And it's not always a comfortable room to sit in. Sometimes you are the only one that looks like you in some of those meetings, but you're definitely going to find out more information. They're going to tell you where the money is, the more like...
And they going to help you get it as long as you keep showing the interest. Some of these people are sitting on seats with 300, 400, 500 votes. Some of y'all got more than that as Facebook friends and following. If we have the power to change people in position of power, believe me, they're going to start taking you serious. If I say, hey man, I can impact 1,500 families because I'm involved in this organization, youth-wise or whatever, or I'm doing these events in my community, believe me, they're going to take a notice and be like, all right, I see you doing moves. What can we do to help? So, but we can't be afraid to go sit in those rooms and not understand it first and keep coming back.
All right, so are we making a plan right now to start a change? That we're making a plan as of right now that we're collaborating and there's no more competition. Like we're putting those that are collaborating over those that feel like everything's a competition.
I thought we've been doing that. Haven't we?
No, me and you've been doing that. Me and you, bro, we feel like we've been doing that, bro, but you still petty. So
we've been fighting, bro. We're going to be in greatest jail in a few weeks. We just got to make it past Bossfest.
We haven't been fighting. We have been collaborating. And moreover, I just be like, oh, we collaborated on that. And I just made a play. That's what we've been doing. You're welcome.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we collaborating. Mm-hmm. Building relationships to grow as a network of community. Mm-hmm. I will say that since we started playing in this space, I have met some amazing people out there who... Yeah,
let's clap it up for some amazing people because I definitely think we have.
I've met some amazing people out there that I wouldn't have had the chance to interact with if it wasn't for stepping out on there and trying something different. Have we made mistakes on this journey? Absolutely, everybody does. Mm-hmm. But I think it's through those mistakes, getting back up, still persevering, that it allows for you to say, all right, how do I grow? How do I get better? I want to be able to throw a party like Markeisha. I ain't gonna lie.
What does that have to do with what
I'm just saying. I want to be able to throw a free party.
That literally had nothing with what we were talking about.
No, I'm just saying, like, I want to be on that level, man.
So you want to collaborate so much that you bring like young jocks.
I want to collaborate. I want to collaborate so much that I got the funds to throw a free party in the middle of Polk County and have everybody on the book, and they talking about some, dang, I should have came.
So while that event was absolutely amazing, so what I would say is, why wouldn't you want to build an event where people want to invest in themselves so much that they're willing to actually pay to be in the rooms like that? Because people will come out for free. Like you're giving, Markeisha literally gave away a lot. You got free food, you had some flip-flops, there was free entertainment, drinks, everything about that event was top scale. But will people invest in themselves?
We're already doing an event where we're asking people to invest in themselves. And the answer to that is, it's getting better.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to do an event like Markeisha's, but people pay to invest in themselves. they're more likely to come if it's free, but are they the same amount of likely to come to if they have to put some type of investment for it? That's what I'm saying to
you. If they care about actually growing their brand or growing some type of business. And I think honestly, COVID should have woke everybody up, not for the fact of it was this deadly disease that could have killed the whole population, crap, whatever. You go on that how you want to go. But the fact that the government shut down. The one thing I will give DeSantis is that he said, we ain't gonna play in that space. So I'll give him that one. The rest of it he can go somewhere else with. But he was like, no, man, people still gotta eat. And there was a lot of people out there sitting in the house starving because they couldn't go out to this 9 to 5. A lot of depression went up, suicide rates went up, and now people are out here again trying to figure out how they live in this 9 to 5 space when they need to be trying to figure out how do I live in this 9 to 5 space and also find a way to supplement additional income just in case it disappears again.
So they need a side hustle.
Everybody needs a side hustle. I don't care who you are, what business you running, everybody needs a side hustle.
So this comment says people are afraid to invest in things they can't eat from right away.
So we're saying people don't have a vision.
Yeah, well, we already said they lack creativity. That's why they would steal, people's ideas when you collaborate with them. So now we're also saying that they need something hand-fed to them right away to want to feel like they can invest in it, which just means that we never see the vision to be any more than what we are right now. And those aren't the type of people that would make moves in the type of rooms that we're trying to build, I would say, in the first place.
So I guess maybe that's the real question. Why are we trying to force people who don't see value in themselves and try to collab with?
The next comment, people do the best they can with their attention span.
Ooh, damn.
I feel like that was deep.
Can I start that one?
You can start things? I don't know. Like, I feel like that's like one of those things that you put on a shirt. Like, people do the best they can with their attention span.
Just so you know, we're going to put that on the shirt. Thank you for the idea. Collaboration over competition. That will be on his shirt.
You done had 5 billion shirt ideas and ain't had the first shirt.
Because don't nobody want to make my shirt. See, I've been asking for a shirt maker to make some shirts. You would have had money. But hey, oh well.
So I guess as we wrap up, we shouldn't be afraid of collaborating is what you're saying. But I guess it's point. It depends on who you're collaborating with. Oh, he owns a marketing company, so that makes sense. Trust him in the marketing.
I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to figure out how can we market Bossfest on a bigger level.
It sounds like you need to collaborate with him outside of this podcast.
For 2024.
It sounds like you need to set up a meeting to collaborate outside of this Bossfest podcast, sir.
I hearted some stuff.
So listen, as we wrap up, I feel like, and they already got the heat press.
Man, we're going to do marketing and we got a heat press.
Listen, I'm just going to stay out.
Come on.
So Lamar actually is asking, how do we market to like-minded people? And I'm going to be honest, that's literally what keeps me up at night. How do we market to like-minded people? Because when I go to sleep with like a huge idea and I'm like, Kevin, we got to do this. And that's the point, because the people that I'm trying to get to see, I want them to see what tomorrow, like what the future looks like. Hey, I want to put you in a room for someone who's already gone through this tough journey and just give you gems that you have actionable items that you can take and make your journey easier. Those are the people that I'm trying to touch, not the people that are like, man, I'm just cool with, going to the hookah spot and hanging out. Those aren't the people that I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach people that want to build financial wealth. And for me, I'm trying to build a life of freedom and hopefully take Kevin with me and get him out of his 9 to 5 mindset. But those are the people that we're trying to market to. And if anyone has any ideas, I'm definitely with that. because targeting sales funnels, I'll tell you, we have been through it.
Oh, we've been through them things.
Um,
Maybe we didn't plan. Maybe we didn't do ours right. It almost felt like a like a scam in some places. You know, you hit people with the funnel. It's like you give your name, you give your number, you put your information down.
I don't think this dude know what you're talking about. He don't know.
Who, me?
You, because you think that you have a wife slash secretary, so you don't understand what we're talking about. Either way,
Whatever.
we would like to market to like-minded people. And Lamar just hit it on the head, and that is a perfect way to leave the show. He said, "Leave Polk County. That's how." And can we please just go to ATL? And there, people are like, "Hey, I'm moving this way. You moving? You coming?"
I can move you there tomorrow. You ain't ready for that. Neither am I.
I'm ready.
Please. My 9 to 5 tried to offer me a job though.
Then let's go. So, and I guess that's what Kevin was saying, which is our question: will Bossfest stay in Polk County? Because we want to definitely showcase that there's talent here, but if people don't see their talent and they don't want to showcase it, who are we to keep trying to bring something to them and they don't want to take part? Lamar said he'll meet us there. That's what I'm talking about. Because we already got like a few little like connections that we could just work. We just be in ATL.
I want to have faith in Polk County, man.
I don't have any faith in Polk County. I mean, while I'm here, I'm gonna make it do what it do. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that people try to do and create, and I see them happen, and I see the ideas, and I'm still like, man, it don't seem like we showing up. Now you give something for free, like if there's a free event, it's thick. The moment you have to pay to go somewhere, then it's a problem. But we'll pay for bottles at clubs, and those bottles are ridiculously priced. But we won't pay for education or to better ourselves, which is like completely crazy to me. I just don't understand it.
Gotcha.
So I think we're starting a movement. And look, people in Atlanta, they buying properties or renting rental spaces and then re-renting them or putting them on Airbnb. Like, we got some hustles we can do in ATL and make some things happen.
So why can't we just take that model and make it work here? We just have to adapt it to the environment.
You still Polk County. You still with the Polk County. Next episode, everybody who thinks we should just move out of Polk County, that's what we're going to talk about next episode. We're talking about leaving.
Oh, man. That's well.
I'm just kidding. So before we wrap up, I guess let's talk about Bossfest, and then we'll let it be what it is. You got something you want to add?
No, go ahead, run Bossfest. I'm ready for that.
You ready for Bossfest?
I'm ready for Bossfest.
So right now we're working on getting general admission tickets back out for Bossfest. We're changing the layout is what's happening so we can get more seats in the building. So stay tuned. We try to give you a little bit more like information on Bossfest every time we have a podcast. So if y'all have any questions about it, definitely ask us so we can make sure we're giving the people what they want. But Bossfest will be a room of speakers. There's 4 different panels dropping straight education. So if you want to know like their background and where they grew up at, please go to the website, read the bio, check the social media. They're not going to give you any of that information at Bossfest. Bossfest, they literally are going to be dropping gems. So if you're interested in one of those particular areas of business, you want to be in the room. There is, I'm going to call it content creation studio, or you can call it half selfie museum. But if you have an issue, with content on social media, there's going to be a whole room designed to be able to take pictures, get your information out there. Like, we're literally putting a lot of time and effort making sure that this is something that we haven't seen in Polk County before. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we celebrate our small businesses. So we have not left that area of Bossfest. So there is definitely a vendor section. So come out and support our vendors. They will have a special rooftop location at Bossfest.
That's open to the public. I want to make sure we make that point clear. So the rooftop vendor area is open to the public. You don't need a ticket to shop with the vendors, interact with them, sample brands and stuff like that. You do not need a ticket to shop with the vendors. To get the education, to build your knowledge base, your foundation on how you can grow and expand, that's where the ticket comes into play. Access to the selfie museum, I like to call it still content creation space, but that requires ticket. The VIP ticket gets you some of the goodies, the snacks, the desserts, the food, and all that.
There is free food and drinks for VIP.
Free food and drinks. Like I said, my wife said I had to upgrade. No crackers, no water. Had to get y'all some
people. So listen, we've made a point to make sure that we're trying to use as many small businesses in the Polk County area as possible to bring this to Polk County. That's been important for us to try to collaborate with that.
From videographers, from photographers, food, for decorations, all that stuff. We trying to get people names known out there. A lot of people have been helping us along the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
A lot of people have collaborated with us.
A lot of people
have offered things to us just to be in the room, just to show their support and see the vision. That part we definitely appreciate.
And grow their brand. So listen, I'm with helping anybody grow their brand. If we can find a way to eat together, let's do it. So to our speakers, on our panelists who is volunteering their time, listen, they're marketing something. There's opportunities out there. Polk County is expanding. That real estate panel, that's going to be huge for some people that got the ability to get in the room and get the financing behind it, which is why we also brought in a banker who's in that space who can tell you, you ain't got to walk in there with $1 million to start trying to buy property. They can
they can walk in with $1?
Listen, I ain't saying that BS. What I'm saying is they can help them start the process on where they need to go to build their name and their recognition up. So that way when they go step into that bank and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, the bank is more likely to say yes than to look at you crazy and call security. You don't want them hitting that little button underneath their table. Like, you want what? To do what? Sure, no problem. Wait right there.
Oh my God.
While they touch that little button. The nonprofit panel. Listen, there's so many people trying to build nonprofits. The one thing I keep telling people about nonprofits is a nonprofit business is still a business. You can eat. The CEO of Goodwill makes $17 million a year. That is a nonprofit organization, a 501c3 nonprofit organization where the CEO makes $17 million a year. You can make money as a nonprofit, and people would love to invest in those brands. You just got to know how to do it. The social media. Listen, social media is going to be huge. It's the way of the future. Everybody is leaving the cable networks. People are cutting the cord. People are getting all of their information, all of their news, all of their content through social media. If you can tap into
from TikTok.
If you can tap into that market and figure out how you can get how you can get monetized. If you want to start a podcast or do any of that thing, this is the time to do it. Launch it now, get it now, because in a year from now, 2 years from now, it's going to be even harder. The way to do it, to build it, people going to show you, give you their tricks, give you their techniques. I'm excited.
You left off event space. You were just going down, like all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Any event space.
I mean, you were just talking about everybody else, so
Right, event space.
Me? You did all the other ones.
In event spaces. Listen, it's money in event spaces. Renting out a building, open it up to the public. Everybody's trying to celebrate stuff. There's always somebody looking for a spot where they can do something there. Putting the right image out there so people can see exactly what you can do. Building that content. Listen, it's huge. It's huge. This event is going to be big. We're going to move it up. We're going to create bigger brands. And we hoping to elevate everybody that not only sits in the panel, but everybody who's sitting in the chairs in the room. We're trying to change that mindset. I think I'm done now.
You said a lot. I went to sleep and woke back up. It was a lot.
See, that's why I don't want to collab with you no more.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm just honest. Like, you take it for what it is.
You're always honest with me, but you won't be honest with yourself.
What are you talking about? I'm honest with everybody. That's the reason why we doing this podcast now, sir. Anyway.
Wait. Go back. So the reason we doing this podcast now is because you honest.
That's what I said.
That's what she said.
Anyway, so they said you funny. So as we wrap up tonight, I definitely want to thank y'all for tuning in to Bossfest podcast. We did have a commercial. The sound guy didn't get it in time, but there is Jokes and Jams this Friday at Wells Point. So tap in. I know there is a lot of promotion on social media. I don't know if Big Z is still in the room. If so, definitely drop the information for Jokes and Jams. She is the host of Jokes and Jams, but it is going on this Friday in Lake Wells at Wells Point. So check that out.
Listen, we can have fun at Polk County. Come out to Jokes and Jams. Nice venue, nice food, nice vibe, nice energy. And I promise you, every time we went there, we had a great time.
And Unique said, and cut.
And cut.
Yeah, because after I said, this is why we doing this, you're supposed to cut it. But, cut it. Anyway, we'll holler at y'all next Wednesday. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all Friday at Jokes and Jams and October 8th at Bossfest. Peace.
Peace.